Yugoslavia was a multi-ethnic country in the Balkans in the 20th century. After World War I ended, it transformed into the Socialist Federal Republic of Yugoslavia, which included Slovenia, Serbia, Croatia, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Montenegro, and North Macedonia. However, following the drastic changes in Eastern Europe in the 1990s, the Yugoslav Federation couldn't escape dissolution, breaking into several sovereign states. Post-dissolution, the economic conditions of these former republics varied dramatically. The southernmost North Macedonia is very poor, with a GDP per capita of just over $5,000. In contrast, the most developed Slovenia boasts a GDP per capita of $29,000. So here's the question. Why did Slovenia, a former Yugoslav republic, become the richest and most developed? Let's delve into history. Around the 6th century AD, during the westward and southward migration of the Slavs, they split into three major groups: Eastern, Western, and Southern Slavs. The Slavs in the Balkans were called South Slavs, mainly inhabiting the regions covered by the former Yugoslavia and Bulgaria. The division of the Roman Empire and the subsequent Great Schism neatly split the Balkans in two. In the north, closer to Germany and Italy, areas like Slovenia and Croatia adopted a Latinized cultural transformation under Roman Catholicism. Meanwhile, the southern regions like Bosnia, Serbia, were more Hellenized, following Eastern Orthodox Christianity, which led to different scripts. Although both derived from Slavic languages, Slovenia and Croatia adopted the Latin alphabet used by Roman Catholics, while Bosnia and Serbia used the Cyrillic script of the Eastern Orthodox Church. Fast forward to the late Middle Ages in the 14th century, with the declining Byzantine Empire and the chaotic Balkans, four new foreign powers sought to expand their influence: the Habsburg family of the Holy Roman Empire, Venetian merchants from Italy, Hungarian nobility, and Ottoman Muslims. Geographical differences significantly influenced the fate and cultural evolution of these countries. Slovenia was conveniently positioned in the northern part of the Balkan Mountains near the eastern route of the Alps, serving as a crucial gateway from Eastern Europe to Italy, with immense strategic importance. Germans, wary of Italy to the south and Hungary to the east, established early settlements in Slovenia. In 1335, after the death of the local ruler, the Duke of Carinthia, without an heir, Albert II of Habsburg, a German noble, claimed Slovenia by inheritance, treating it as an autonomous region within Austria until the end of World War I in 1919. This prime location attracted many German nobles to build fortresses, and German settlers moved in, making German widely spoken. Although Slovenian was still in use, it was heavily influenced by German, adopting the Latin alphabet. Unlike German-dominated Slovenia, Croatia was initially a region where Hungarian and Italian influences coexisted. Politically, Croatia formed a personal union with Hungary from the 11th century. Italian merchants, engaged in Mediterranean trade, established numerous trade port cities across the Adriatic Sea in Croatia. The important port of Split, for example, flourished with the help of Venetian merchants. Inland areas like Bosnia, Montenegro, and Serbia, however, lacked such geographical advantages, being mountainous and poorly connected, thus severely lacking in external interactions. The decline of Byzantium, culminating in its fall in the 15th century, exacerbated these disparities. After the Ottomans captured Constantinople in 1453, they rapidly expanded northward, defeating Hungary and incorporating most of the Balkans into their empire over the next century, except for Slovenia, which remained in the Christian world. The Ottomans became the primary enemy of Christian Europe until the 17th century. After the Turkish Wars post-1683, the Habsburgs regained Hungary and much of Croatia, restoring Catholic control, but areas like Serbia remained under Ottoman rule. The historical animosity between the northern and southern Balkans didn't just create cultural differences, but also set the stage for economic disparities. Before the 18th century, there wasn't much difference between Croatia, Slovenia in the north, and Serbia, Bosnia in the south. It was hard to say which side was stronger or weaker. They were pretty much on par. However, the Industrial Revolution at the end of the 18th century drastically altered production methods, boosting productivity and creating a significant development gap between Western Europe and other regions, including within Yugoslavia. Austria's conservative Habsburg regime was slower to adopt the Industrial Revolution than Britain or France, but began doing so in the mid-19th century. Slovenia benefited significantly from this industrialization wave, being mutually beneficial with Austria. Industrialization required raw materials, especially minerals, which Slovenia had in abundance, like heavy metals and coal, with a long history of mining. Industrial exports also needed maritime trade. Although Slovenia's coastline is short, it was Austria's only access to the sea, apart from Hungary. Austria invested heavily in Trieste for shipbuilding and maritime trade, establishing the Austrian Lloyd Company there, modeled after the British. Additionally, Austria had political reasons to favor Slovenia. Although Croatia also had a coastline, when Austria regained control from the Ottomans, it reinstated Hungarian central governance over Croatia to appease Hungarian nobility, limiting Vienna's influence. In contrast, Austria had direct control over Slovenia, Austria, and Bohemia, crucial for competing with Britain, France, Prussia, and Russia. Hence, Slovenia's importance grew significantly. By the 1850s, Slovenia was already undergoing large-scale economic development. In 1854, the first railway connecting Ljubljana to Vienna was operational as part of Austria's early railway projects. The Habsburgs also promoted basic education, achieving a 90% literacy rate in Slovenia by the late 19th century, with a substantial population growth. With the establishment of the Austro-Hungarian Empire in 1867, Hungary became a focal point in imperial policy. Croatia, as a semi-autonomous region within Hungary, caught the wave of industrialization. However, Slovenia had already been developing for over a decade, giving it a head start. This lead translated into significant advantages in terms of railway mileage, GDP, and other key economic indicators over Croatia. Meanwhile, Serbia remained under Ottoman neglect, maintaining a medieval manor economy significantly behind. Post-World War I, with Austria's defeat, Slovenia, Croatia, and victorious Serbia formed the Kingdom of Serbs, Croats, and Slovenes, later renamed Yugoslavia. Between the war as Yugoslavia's only industrial zone, Slovenia experienced another surge in industrial growth. However, the imbalance within Yugoslavia persisted. By the 1920s, Slovenia's industrial capacity was 4 times that of Serbia and 22 times that of the least developed North Macedonia. The saying goes, the economic base determines the superstructure. Wealth certainly improved living standards in Slovenia, but also introduced political uncertainties due to Yugoslavia's economic disparities. Yugoslavia faced severe fragmentation issues from its inception, with everyone unwilling to submit to others' leadership. In 1920, after World War I, local parliaments in Croatia and Slovenia initially welcomed the union, but soon realized it was more of a Greater Serbia than an equal partnership among 3 nations. Cultural, religious, and economic differences exacerbated existing tensions. Croatia and Slovenia, previously under Austria-Hungary, struggled to agree with Serbia on forming a government, preferring a federal multi-ethnic state while Serbia favored a unitary kingdom. In 1921, at the Yugoslav Constitutional Assembly, Serbian parties won the majority due to Serbia's demographic advantage, leading to the establishment of a unitary kingdom, which was fiercely opposed by regions like Macedonia and Croatia, resulting in underground terrorist activities and political assassinations through the 1920s and 30s, including the assassination of a king and a prime minister. Slovenia, while not directly involved in these radical actions, harbored significant discontent. During World War II, German occupation shattered Yugoslavia's unity, but temporarily alleviated ethnic tensions. Power gradually shifted to Tito and his partisans during the war. With Soviet support, they liberated Belgrade and expelled the Germans. After the war, under Tito's leadership, the Socialist Federal Republic of Yugoslavia was established, promoting socialism over nationalism. Unlike other Eastern European socialist states, Tito's Yugoslavia resisted Stalin's control, adopting a non-aligned stance, fostering economic development while maintaining communication with both East and West. During this period, Slovenia once again became the industrial heartland, with further economic development in heavy industries like coal processing and rubber manufacturing, and automotive production centered there. By 1975, Slovenia's economic strength was twice that of Serbia, with living standards nearing those of Austria and northern Italy. However, from the 1970s, oil crises plunged Yugoslavia into economic stagnation, increasing public discontent. Tito's death in May 1980 sparked ethnic tensions anew. Although Serbia was the largest ethnic group, Tito, a Croat, had suppressed Serbian nationalism, redistributing Serbs across different republics. Post-Tito, with the economy stagnating, ethnic groups sought their own interests, sometimes independence. In the power vacuum, Serbian nationalism, or Greater Serbianism, resurged, seeking dominance over Yugoslavia. This nationalism fueled Serbian pride and protests across republics, escalating tensions with Croats, Slovenes, and others into the 1990s, coinciding with Eastern Europe's transformation and the Soviet Union's collapse, igniting Yugoslavia's powder keg. After Slobodan Milosevic's re-elections, Slovenia and Croatia elected their nationalist leaders, leading to civil war. Slovenia was fortunate in this conflict. Declaring independence in 1991, the brief 10-day war ended quickly due to the geographical distance from Serbia, which focused on Croatia. Meanwhile, Croatia and Serbia engaged in a devastating 4-year war with tens of thousands of casualties, and Serbia faced further conflicts like the Kosovo War, still shadowed by separatist issues. Slovenia's Catholic faith, cultural proximity to Central Europe, developed economy, and smooth independence process allowed it to integrate quickly into Western society, meeting EU requirements for development and governance first among former Yugoslav states, joining in 2004. Today, Slovenia's GDP per capita ranks 34th globally at $32,000, placing it among the world's most developed countries. However, Slovenia faces challenges. No longer able to rely on cheap raw materials from Yugoslavia's less developed south, it's less competitive than Austria or Switzerland in economic terms. Manufacturing, while still vital, is shifting to supply parts for European countries under pressure from German and Austrian competition. EU membership has facilitated the brain drain to Western Europe for better opportunities. Nevertheless, Slovenia is now fully integrated into Europe, with its Yugoslav past increasingly fading.